This week, a 21-year-old Liberal candidate in Calgary resigned after inappropriate tweets she made as a teen came to light. With social profiles under more scrutiny than ever, it is important to make sure yours does your personal brand justice. Joining us this morning with more on the topic is CTV's financial commentator, Patty Levitt-Reid. Boy, this is such a discussion for so many because so many people don't think anything when they tweet and they're 14, 15. What does it matter? They're going to grow up. And that's, I guess, part of the problem.
Well, that is part of the problem, and I don't want to sit here and pretend that I am an expert by any means on this. I only just joined Instagram this week, but I am on Twitter. I have to tell you, though, I have been tweeting for a long time. This week alone, I sent out a tweet. One word had one letter misspelled in it, and it completely changed the context. My Twitter account almost blew up, and I looked at it and I went, oh my gosh. And so people know who I am, and so to your point, your brand, what you're tweeting, what you're talking about, it will be with you, and sometimes it will cover for you, but other times, like we've seen, it'll take you down.
Well, you know, and in the case of the candidate that we were mentioning in Calgary, I mean, something she'd done a number of years ago came back to haunt her. But ultimately, tell me about employers, because we hear that they look this stuff up. Do they take it seriously?
It depends on what you've done, and yes, they absolutely have a team of people that are going to trace things back. Let's say, for example, you're going to apply for a company and you had bad service from that company in the past, and you tweet about them and say, this company is horrible, and they didn't serve me right, and they didn't do this, and they didn't do that, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a position and you're looking to be hired by them. It's not going to happen. And I know for a fact where people have thought they've interviewed one individual, they did the background search and saw a whole different side of them and said, that's not what we're looking for. That individual's not aligned to us as an organization.
So what about, you know, if you're applying for a job, I mean, is there any way of someone going back to do a cleanup? I mean, if that's even possible?
No, I'm not sure it's possible, but you can you can come clean. So you make a really good point, because I do think you can say, you know, in the past, this is what I've done. You may want to check it out because it's there, and you've got to be honest about it. Now, not all tweets or whatever you put out there is going to be treated equally. You know that, but you know, you've seen people in, you know, different compromising positions that maybe in a social setting they're probably okay. In a business environment, it's not okay.
I know one of your messages is, you know, branding, making sure that you brand. You know, how do you go about that? I mean, what are the tips to brand?
I think branding is knowing who you are, what you're about. What do you want people to know about you? What is it that you're proud of, and what is it that you're really focused on? And you want to stick to that branding across all the social media platforms. Recognize, too, that you will never be bigger than the organization that you work for. Your brand is your brand, and you want to make sure that it's aligned to the organization that you may work for or you want to work for down the road. And it's not about doing one big thing right, Bev. It's about doing a lot of little things right, and it happens over time. I know people want to be that big one-hit sensation. Put it out there, and here I am, and welcome to the world. But it really doesn't work like that.
What about the barrage of, I guess, invitations that people get for social media? I mean, you mentioned Twitter. Now you're on Instagram. There's so many out there, and a lot of people might think, okay, the more I'm connected, the better. Is that the case?
No, I think no is okay, and no is absolutely an option, because they often say it's not just about you, it's also about the company you keep. And one of the biggest issues I think people have to recognize is if you just be you and you're authentic and you come out as you are, you will do fine. People will gravitate towards you, like-mindedness and that sort of thing. It is absolutely not about the numbers. I know it's entertaining, and I get it, because I looked at my Instagram, Bev, and I went, oh my gosh, I'm almost at 100 followers. Okay, I am not going to set the world on fire. But I also look at the followers who have decided to get aligned, and yeah, we're into sports, we're into that sort of thing. People want information about you, but I got to tell you, what I'm also learning and what I'm hearing is they don't want too much information about you.
Right. Okay. Good advice. Patty Levitt-Reid, thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
You can read more in Patty's blog, and that'll be on our website.